COVID-19 has exposed the global scandal of a world without social protection for all. 70% of the world's people have no or inadequate social protection, no income, no guaranteed access to health, no child protection, and many other vital areas that ensure people are resilient against global shocks. With more than 400 million jobs lost already, 1.6 billion of our brothers and sisters in the informal economy facing destitution, we need social protection now.
काम करने से मना कर दिया गया। हम घरों में फिर जाने नहीं जा भी नहीं पाए हमने। नहीं, मेरा तबीयत खराब था, मैं बुखार था, मतलब मैं नहीं जा पाई काम पे। फिर टीका लगवाए, जब जा पाए हमने। तो भेदभाव ये इससे करना पड़ा कि मतलब हम सरकारी में लेके जाओ तो जो बड़ा आदमी रहते थे उनसे अच्छा वो करते थे, बोलते थे, और हमसे तो इतना हम लोग जाते थे तो दवाई भी नहीं देते थे, हाली बेड भी नहीं दिया। हम प्राइवेट में जाए तो इलाज भी नहीं हो सकता था हमारा ढंग का।
वो मैंने 3टा मतलब 25 वर्ष हेबा विधर्वा हेबा देश विदेश जो छ छा माने मुई भी जो छ एने 2 मास 3 मास गुती दुख कले मिलु छ नेहला ने मुई एकला जने माट घर के तो घर घुसली गले रहबा के जगह नहीं छ। मुई बात पंचायत के जे करी गले वीडियो के गले धरे देखि से कागज घर के सुनबानी के बुझबानी करे देला हत्ती मोर हताना।
Most of us also don't have social protection. I think social protection is important because it will ensure health care and income. Because it also provide support for our family in case of emergency.
Really want to talk about the number of deaths that could have been saved because of good. You need to see that a proportion of this could have been prevented easily with the access of vaccines. But the other part is, it's not just an issue of vaccines. When we see COVID, we have realized that the access to medicines and medical products was important in the whole chain, right from getting yourself tested or the access to reagents in the labs to, the medicines that you are given.
Yet today, we are seeing a vaccine vacuum. Vaccines are reaching high-income countries quickly, while the world's poorest have none at all. Science is succeeding, but solidarity is failing.
コバックス自体はできるのは早かったんですよね。ところが一つ問題だったのは先進国はまずコバックスから買わず直接、メーカーと交渉をして、買ったと。でそれもものすごい高値で、買ったということですね。しかも大量に買ったというのがあります。で結果として大量に買われたので、コバックスに供給する分が製薬企業はなかったと。
自力で欧米の製薬企業と交渉を試みる途上国もありましたが、その壁はあまりにも高いものでした。
先進国のメーカーの交渉態度というのは非常に悪いものであったと。なので結局多くの新興国では、先進国のですねファイザーやモデルナのワクチンは結局買えず、他のオプションに行かざるを得なかったということです。
So then due to this whole global inequity to access, South Africa and India proposed this TRIPS waiver, which is basically a mechanism that would ensure that we don't have patents on COVID-19 medical tools for the duration of the pandemic. This was proposed in October 2020.
この提案に対し、アフリカや中南米、アジアなど65カ国が共同提案国となり、100カ国以上が賛同しました。しかし、EU、米国、英国、日本などの先進国は猛反対。 議論は完全に膠着状態となりました。2022年6月、WTO 閣僚会合にて2年半にわたる知的財産権の一時免除をめぐる議論は終結しました。反対国は最後まで態度を変えず、特許の一時免除の対象となったのはワクチンのみで、治療薬や検査キット、人工呼吸器などは除外されました。
So there was, first of all, there was a shortage of oxygen cylinder. So many patients didn't have access to oxygen. And people run out of food, in particularly the poor people.
So in March of 2020, South Africa went into a very difficult lockdown. The thing that happened that was not good is that many people lost their jobs. During that first big wave in 2020, about 3 million people lost jobs, but 2/3 of that, this was women that lost jobs. So
this pandemic reminds us that we have a moral obligation to ensure that during great disasters and challenges, no one is left behind. It's time for the global human community to consider establishing a global fund for social security.
It's very critical to have social protection fund to support the people who have lost their jobs due to COVID, who are working in unorganized sector, who are working in as daily wage earners, who are working as agriculture laborers, who are working as housemaids. Mostly women are also getting affected due to this COVID situation, and it is important that we protect all of them through the Social Protection Fund.
The Global Fund for Social Protection will deliver on the right to social protection as agreed in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the ILO Conventions, and the African Union policies, declarations, and protocols. It is a solidarity fund in which the rich and the poor will participate.
I came across a story of a mother who killed herself and killed 4 of her children. And I found out that the mother was not working, had no source of income, and had gotten to a point where she was tired and she had exhausted all her means to earn an income in South Africa. And she decided the only way out was for her to take her life and those of her children. And I think for me, one of the key measures or key things that's still missing in the social protection landscape in South Africa, firstly, they remain very critical and a lifeline to millions of South Africans. Secondly, it's the legal framework which remains highly exclusionary by applying a targeted approach to social protection as opposed to a universal approach.
The first is to say no to austerity budgeting. We see this in South Africa and we see it in countries across the world where national treasuries use austerity budgeting to slash access to fundamental human rights. The second message is to say yes to decent, universal healthcare to all, including access to vaccines. And thirdly is to say yes to universal basic income.
Despite being a basic human right, it is estimated that only 29% of the world population enjoy access to comprehensive, rights-based social security coverage. I welcome this new initiative by civil society organization to put the Global Fund for Social Protection again at the center of our call for social justice and for the pursuit of the 2030 Human Development Agenda.
We need to make this vision a reality. to provide low-income countries with the support that they require in order to move towards social protection floors for all. And we need to do this by a new international financing mechanism, the Global Fund for Social Protection. This fund would fulfill two essential functions. First, it would make up for the shortfall in funding that today poor countries still experience. The Global Fund for Social Protection would not only make up for this shortfall, it will also provide poor countries with an insurance that in times of crisis they shall be supported. Many poor countries are small and have a poorly diversified economy, and they may be experiencing shocks, economic shocks, a loss of export revenues, a sudden increase of import bills, climatic shocks, droughts and floods, or indeed epidemics as we've seen most recently.